Thanks for coming today, all. Welcome to the Mid-Atlantic Food Hub's video conference today. This video conference is sponsored by the Chesapeake Farm to Institution Work Group, a work group that provides learning opportunities and opportunities to connect throughout the year. The work group is made possible by a collaboration between Healthcare Without Harm and the Chesapeake Food Shed Network. I'm Sonia Kiner. I do communications and programming for the CFN. Christy Gabbard should be joining us from Italy soon. She's the network manager and owner of Local Concepts LLC, the consulting group that provides network management support to the CFN. She's actually based out of Virginia, but she is in Italy right now. And also joining us on our team is Erin Walker, the network assistant. Kristen Markley, our CFN co-chair, Chesapeake Farm to Institution Work Group co-chair, and Mid-Atlantic Regional Coordinator for Healthcare Without Harm, will be facilitating the meeting today. She is a very busy person. We are joined by some portion of 54 registrants today from all over the Chesapeake Food Shed region. Thanks so much for being here. We honor all of the knowledge and experience that is in this virtual space right now. This is a place for dialogue, idea sharing, and a chance to connect and converse more than we're usually able to during webinars. We encourage you to courageously show yourself on your webcams and to share your knowledge, experience, and ideas during the discussion portion of the meeting. Again, welcome and thank you for joining us. The mission of the CFN is to catalyze the connections and collaborations necessary to build a sustainable, resilient, inclusive, and equitable regional food system. We believe that building an intentional change network starts with building relationships and alignment, leveraging resources, and creating efficiencies across the Chesapeake watershed and beyond. With a strong foundation of knowledge and connection, we can collectively act to build a stronger regional food system. Please visit our website, chesapeakefoodshed.net, to learn more about how to get involved and to sign up to join our hive. Healthcare Without Harm was founded over 20 years ago. They seek to transform healthcare worldwide so that it reduces its environmental footprint, becomes a community anchor for sustainability, and a leader in the global movement for environmental health and justice. Working close.
Sorry, Sonia, it doesn't look like your slide advanced.
Oh, weird. How about now?
No.
Huh, I'm looking at it on my screen. Let's try it again. I'm going to stop share, reshare. Can you see it now?
No, it says click to exit full screen. Do you want me to try sharing it?
Sure.
Okay.
Let me stop my share.
Okay, and all right, let's see. Okay, share screen, and that would be, okay, I'm looking for the right. I guess I don't know how to share how do you share a Google document?
It says the Google slide. Are you in the Google slide presentation?
No, I'm on a share screen, and then I have to choose which.
Yep, so click on the Food Hub intro and conclusion slides, if you have that link open.
Yeah, it's open, but it's not working on share screen. Sorry, everybody.
I'll try one more time, and then
Okay.
if it doesn't work, then I'll just read. Do you see it?
Yes.
Yay. Do you still see it?
Yes.
And you still see it now?
Yes.
Okay. So working closely with Healthcare Without Harm, Practice Green Health is the leading nonprofit membership and network organization for sustainable healthcare, delivering solutions to more than 1,200 members throughout the US. Since 2005, Healthcare Without Harm's Healthy Food and Healthcare program has worked to harness the purchasing power and expertise of the healthcare sector to advance the development of a sustainable food system. Hospitals are influential institutions in their communities with the power to affect social, economic, and environmental determinants of health in their communities and promote greater sustainability, equity, and health in the ways that food is produced, processed, distributed, and consumed. Key strategies hospitals are using to influence the health and sustainability of our food system have included using their food service purchasing to support regionalized and sustainable food production, improving on-campus food environments to be healthy by default to promote healthy eating for staff, patients, and visitors, increasing access to healthy, affordable, and local and sustainably produced foods in the community through initiatives such as community gardens and farms, produce prescription programs, farmers markets, and mobile markets, CSA programs, farm to school, and more. More recently, facilities and systems are leveraging their investment opportunities to expand the reach of their impacts. Did that advance now? The Mid-Atlantic Food Hubs, Kristen?
It's still on the Healthcare Without Harm.
Yeah, something's funny.
Slide.
That's okay. We'll go over Zoom now. So your Zoom controls run around the bottom of your screen. If you're on video, you can use the chat box to ask a question to the panelists or to comment. Just click on the chat icon. You can also raise your hand in Zoom if you'd like to speak, and we can call on you directly. You should see the hand icon under the participant list in a series of icons that say yes, no, go faster, go slower, etc. You can also play with your speaker view in the top right corner of your screen. We're going to keep you muted until the discussion portion of the meeting, and we can mute and unmute you, and you can also unmute yourself. So just make sure if you want to speak that you unmute yourself. If there's a lot of background noise, then we will mute everybody. So again, be sure to unmute yourself if you'd like to talk. And if you're on the telephone, go ahead and unmute yourself when you're ready to talk and introduce yourself before your question or comment. We'll be monitoring the chat box where we will also be posting relevant links. Let's get started, Kristen. Thanks so much for convening us, and it's all you.
Great. Thank you, Sonia, and thank you to everyone participating on the call today. It's really exciting to click on the chat box and scroll through where everybody is calling in from. We have a really wide representation of food service directors, food hubs, people working on food hubs, the Pennsylvania Department of Education. We have health systems. It's really exciting. So I encourage you to scroll through the chat box area just to see all of the amazing people participating on today's call. And that's one of the things I want to call to our attention is that we have these three excellent speakers who are going to talk about their food hubs and how it works and what their service area is. And then we're going to provide a lot of opportunity for questions for them. But we also want to encourage people to, to share their own experiences. Let us know about other food hubs. Let us know what's working well. Or of course, what's not working well, and how can we help lift you up? Again, my name is Kristen Markley. I'm the Mid-Atlantic Regional Coordinator for Healthcare Without Harm, and I also co-chair the Chesapeake Farm to Institution Work Group, which I will talk more about at the end. And we are really excited to have Diane, Lisa, and Abby here today with us. And I'm going to provide a little bit of background information about each of them before they start talking. So Diane Staz, who is with the South Central Pennsylvania Harvest Hub, earned a bachelor's degree in English from Lafayette College. After spending time in media and advertising, she started working with farmers in 2005. And has served in many hands-on capacities, from working in the fields to driving a CSA truck, serving as a market master at a DC area market to managing a farmer's market. Diane knows firsthand many of the challenges small area farmers have had marketing their products and navigating the changing food safety requirements. She has been the Food Hub coordinator for the South Central Pennsylvania Harvest Hub since 2016. And then Lisa Reeder is here with Local Food Hub. Lisa has nearly 20 years of experience working with and around food in Central Virginia. She joined Local Food Hub in 2010 to coordinate production planning and product development among partner farms. In 2016, Lisa moved into a new role at Local Food Hub to serve as Food and Farm Access Coordinator. Lisa oversees the Fresh Pharmacy Program, Farm to Workplace, Harvest of the Month, and other community partnerships and programs. Lisa holds an undergraduate business degree from the University of Virginia, a chef's certificate from the Natural Gourmet Institute for Food and Health in New York City, and a certificate in Food Hub Management from the University of Vermont. And then we also have Abby Massey with the Common Market. She is the regional manager of the Common Market Mid-Atlantic. Abby opened the Washington, D.C. office of the Common Market in 2016, expanding distribution reach southward into Maryland, D.C., and Virginia. She currently manages sales to colleges and universities, retailers, and healthcare facilities and distributors, in addition to growing relationships with community partners in the region. She is also excited to be managing their new warehouse in Jessup, Maryland. Prior to her work at the Common Market, Abby worked as a communications coordinator in the outreach office of USDA's Sustainable Agriculture Research and Education Program, and she holds a Master's of Arts in International Development from American University and is a Clemson University graduate. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and turn things over to the speakers. So Diane, the floor is yours. You have to unmute yourself.
Thank you, Kristen. Now we're in business. Let me get to sharing my screen. So hello, everyone. My name is, as Kristen told you, Diane Staz. I'm the Food Hub coordinator for South Central PA Harvest Hub. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Good. We were established in 2015. My colleague, Carol Richwine, who's a horticulture teacher here where the hub is located, Northern York County School District, worked with Carla Snyder of the Penn State Extension to write a USDA Farm to School grant. It was a 2-year grant. Originally, the food hub was intended to be a virtual food hub, aggregating information from farmers and getting that to buyers and providing one single invoice. And the idea was that the farmers would deliver, but my predecessor, Patrick Andrews, soon discovered that there was just not the infrastructure there to do that. So he wrote a grant, this time through USDA Rural Business Development, for the purchase of a Sprinter van, which is what I use for my deliveries. It has standby electric, so it's kind of a mini warehouse. 7 school districts were part of the original commitment to buy from the Food Hub. Now up to 12 districts have purchased. And now I am also partnered with Healthcare Without Harm. Kristen Markley and I have been working on this specialty crop block grant, and we've developed a relationship with WellSpan. Steve Ferguson is here on the call, and deliver to 3 of their locations, which is very exciting because the ultimate goal, of course, is to make us self-sustaining, and a year-round business is part of that plan. So here's a map showing the 4 counties we deliver through: Adams, Cumberland, Dauphin, and York. And the original districts are in yellow, stars, newer districts in orange, and the hospitals are, hopefully I got approximate locations, the little blue triangles: Gettysburg Hospital, York Hospital, and York Surgical and Rehab Center. And here's Go ahead.
Excuse me, Diane.
Sure.
I'm not able to see the slide.
Okay. Is this maybe the same issue
That
Yeah,
Sonia was having.
Sonia,
I would try stop share and then reshare again. It's probably just
okay.
something wrong in the system then.
Okay.
And we could see all your slides just now, not in speaker view. So you might even be able to just keep it in that view.
You see them now?
No, so reshare. Maybe it's the
Okay.
speaker, maybe it's the speaker view. So maybe you just keep it, so that we can see all the slides down the left. We can try that.
Do you mean having my speaker notes?
Like we can see all your slides now. So try clicking on like slide number 2 there and we'll see. Okay, that's
All right.
working.
Well, so just maybe not have it in present because
Right.
Oh,
Let's try that.
that's fine. All right. So this is, I don't know if you saw this slide, but it's a picture of the counties that we deliver in and our locations of the buyers. This is an image of our the van that I use and some folks from USDA Rural Development. That helps me with mostly now with logistical challenges. I don't use it for long-term warehousing, but I deliver on Tuesdays, so a lot of times I warehouse overnight, picking up a few things on Mondays. Here's some just photos a day in the life. This is up on the left, Corey McLeaf of McLeaf Orchards helping deliver apples. There's a pretty full delivery van. Yummy Peppers, that's a favorite of our school buyers. And then one of our best customers, Conewago Area School District, some of the kitchen staff, a lot of times they'll tell me the real food is here when I come with the food, with the produce. So weekly process, so Wednesdays, I find out from the farmers what's available. I use Local Orbit, which is an online interface to communicate. They have a publication called a Fresh Sheet, which I send out Wednesday afternoon or Thursday mornings. Orders are due by 10 a.m. Monday, and by 10:30, I'm calling the farmers to tell them what's ordered, calling or texting or emailing, whichever they prefer, and figuring out logistics. And then I deliver on Tuesdays for now, hoping to expand delivery days in the future. So Local Orbit also has functions to help tell the story of the farmers. I'm not utilizing all those elements right now, but and then the produce that we've sold, right now we're only doing produce, apples, over 20 varieties, fresh apple cider, broccoli, cabbage, cantaloupe, carrots, cauliflower. There's a list which, just this week expanded to blueberries. I found a local source of wholesale blueberries. Let's see. So originally our grant was sponsored by the school district, but of course they're not in the business of running a food hub at the moment. So I've found a different fiscal sponsor, Capital RC&D of Carlisle. They're a nonprofit that helps support projects like ours that help build the local food system. Also, in an effort to become self-sustaining, I've enlisted the help of Keystone Development Center. It's a nonprofit out of Ephrata, Pennsylvania, to help us form a farmer cooperative. This is, of course, a slow process, takes some time to work out the right participants and the leadership ingredients, but it's underway, and I'm excited for its potential. Here's some, we've had help from all of these different partners, whether it's grants or expertise, software through Local Orbit's software has been very helpful. It really takes a lot to try to build something new without, I don't have this huge pile of money to deal with. So we get help from wherever we can to try to rebuild the local food system here in South Central PA. And of course our farmers, and there, like I said, I have one more to add to the list. I just met a farmer yesterday, DNS Produce. It's thankfully just 20 minutes here from the, actually less distance here from where the hub is located. Some of these farmers, like Keswick Creamery, they aren't going to probably sell through schools. They make wonderful artisan cheese, but they're very interested in the farmer cooperative and support the idea of farm to school. In fact, back in the 80s, they used to sell big tubs of yogurt to the schools. So wonderful to have all these small farms right here. So that's my little presentation. This is a picture of one of our smallest farms that we get produce from, Jacoby Gardens. So thank you, and I'm happy to answer any questions if now or when that happens later in the discussion.
Thank you, Diane. There's a quick question here. That's kind of a clarification question. I can offer the clarification questions, but then if folks can hold on to their kind of more substantial questions to the end, that would be helpful so that we don't, take up too much time and not allow all of the presenters to share their models. There was a question regarding the, it says, with the recent change of ownership for local orbit, have you found the software to be getting better, worse, or roughly the same?
I would say it's roughly the same. Feedback on any questions I have is a little quicker. I honestly haven't been paying attention too much to some of the emails they've talked about with changes, but it's been relatively the same. And like I said, just maybe a little quicker response time as they're trying to really, satisfy, as a new owner, trying to satisfy their customers.
Great, thank you. And I will keep track of questions. So if people want to keep, adding things in the chat box, I can keep track of those questions and make sure that we get them in at the end. But also feel free to make notes to yourself of things you want to, either ask or share after everyone does their presentations. So thank you so much, Diane.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
And next we have Lisa Reeder with Local Food Hub. So Lisa, whenever you're ready.
Okay, great. So I believe I'm sharing my screen. If someone could just give me a verbal that you can see my slides, I think I'll keep it on this view if that's okay, so as to avoid the problem that we were having.
Yes, that sounds like a good idea. I'm not sure why we're having those technical problems where Zoom usually works well. So thank you, everybody, for your flexibility.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for having me on this call. I'm enjoying it already. My name is Lisa Reeder, and I work at Local Food Hub in Charlottesville, Virginia. We are a 501c3 nonprofit established in 2009. In fact, we just passed our 9th birthday a few days ago. So our mission has changed a little bit over the years, but I think it's very strong now. It is to partner with Virginia farmers to increase community access to local food. We have 3 main areas of business activities, and they're encapsulated and described here. We do offer a full line of wholesale product from our partner producers. We have a refrigerated warehouse, and we have refrigerated distribution vehicles. In some, we'll do about 1.6 million this year in sales, and we have over 200 active customer accounts. So that we are, 9 years in on that element of our business, and it is growing, and we're very fortunate to have excellent partner producers and excellent customers that keep it going. We also have a suite of grower services. So partnership with Local Food Hub is free. However, we do limit our partners to those who are able to produce at the wholesale level. So some very small farms in our area are not able to be producers because we hinge that partnership on being able to grow for the wholesale market. So currently we work with about 50 partner farms, and we work with about 20 value-added producers. We do have a line of grocery items, value-added items, and we do also handle cheese and eggs and protein. And then my particular responsibility at this point is our food access programming, which I will talk more about in a few minutes. But probably the most important element of our food access programming is that we felt our wholesale distribution growing really quickly and large customers requiring fairly large small farms to be their providers. And we felt like we were sort of leaving some of our smallest partner producers behind. So in 2015, we deliberately did an analysis as to how can we keep our smallest partner producers engaged. And we've realized over time that our food access programming is a really good market for them that plays off of their strengths and is the right sized market for the amount of food that they're producing. So specifically on the food access programming, we work very intensely with about 10 farms, but about 20 farms end up participating in the food access programming, stacking up to about $65,000 worth of food purchases this year. Very small in comparison to 1.6 million, but still very significant for the small farms that are our partners in these programs. So this is a visual of most of the state of Virginia. I had to crop out Southwest Virginia. I'm sorry about that, but it just wouldn't fit on the slide. And this gives you a visual as to where we have partner producers and where we deliver. So the counties that are highlighted in green are the counties that host some of our partner producers. You can see we have a lot of partners in Central Virginia and ranging south and somewhat west of us. Those partners really like access to the Richmond and DC market, and they're just too far away to get the product there themselves. And then also it's going to be difficult to see the detail on this slide, but the burgundy lines represent roughly where our trucks go. So we are sort of almost in the middle of the state. The round icon that says local food hub, that's Charlottesville. We ship to the Richmond area twice a week. We ship to the northern part of the Shenandoah Valley twice a week. We ship to DC twice a week in the summer and once a week in the winter. And then we service the Charlottesville market 5 days a week. We have 3 refrigerated delivery vehicles. We run 5 days a week. Our facility is GAP-GIP certified. We do have a PACA license. We get inspected by the USDA. So we're very strong in terms of food safety and preparedness there. We do offer a part of our product line is GAP inspected. So it's not all of our products are, but it's a subset of about 10 products, very strong in the summer and in the fall. If you're interested in learning more about our wholesale activities, I'm happy to help you with that. Or you can also just email sales@localfoodhub.org. We can share with you our availability list and our parameters for ordering. It's really very simple. We only carry product from our partner producers, so everything is always Virginia grown and it's always seasonal. I'm really proud of the line of products that we have. 10 to 15 produce items in the off season, 15 to 30, maybe ranging up to 35 in the summer and fall. And we really pride ourselves on quality and on guaranteeing the quality of that product. We certainly have our mishaps along the way, but we really stand by it. And what we hear from our customers is that the freshness and the flavor of the product that we are offering is just superior when sort of compared to the rest of what's available in the wholesale market. And we try to keep it that way. So we're really proud and really thankful to our farmers for all of the hard work that goes into getting the product to where it's going. So as I mentioned, in 2015, our wholesale was growing really quickly, and we said, what about everybody else? What about the very small farmers who aren't a good fit for wholesale production? What about people who aren't shopping at specialty grocery stores? They're not going to farm-to-table restaurants. What about the rest of the world? And we had an opportunity to get into a partnership that was led by our local health department. They were able to access some CDC obesity prevention funding, and they put together this great group that is still collaborating. And they said, couldn't we do a fresh pharmacy program here? So we came up with a fresh pharmacy program called Fruit and Vegetable Prescription Program. And ours works a little bit differently from what you may have heard from Wholesome Wave or from other organizations across the country, because since we are a food hub, we actually pull together the product and deliver the product. So we're not focused on SNAP funding. We're not focused on shopping at the farmer's market. We are actually putting together shares and getting them to people who need them. So when we started in 2015, we were in partnership with 3 federally qualified clinics, our local health department, and several other nonprofits that we collaborate with and amplify one another's mission and work. And right off the bat, we saw about a 95% success rate in terms of participants losing weight and or bringing down their blood pressure. So right off the bat, we saw the value of this program, both in terms of quantitative data, but also really in the qualitative data that we were collecting, focus groups, surveys. I mean, there's not enough time to share all of the amazing things that people have said as to how this infusion of local fruits and vegetables has changed their lives. I never used to eat breakfast. Now my teenage daughter makes a smoothie from vegetables and fruit every morning, and she takes hers to school and I take mine to work. And on and on and on. As many positive benefits as anyone can think of, and then some. So the program design is fairly flexible at this point, and we can customize it depending on the delivery mechanism. The full season is 14 shares delivered over 28 weeks. It maps May to November, maps to the produce season. It is 6 to 8 produce items. We do also sometimes include eggs as well. We collect data, and the health department helps us with the analysis of the quantitative data. And all told, this program costs about $600 per participant per year. So currently, Local Food Hub has taken on the fundraising responsibility for our fresh pharmacy programming. However, we do also have some partners that pay for their programming, which has been really a wonderful thing to come our way. We have some workplace wellness programming where people actually pay for their own program. So fresh pharmacy happens in clinics, and it also happens in workplaces. And sometimes it's grant funded, and sometimes people pay for it. So currently we have, I think, 8 sites this year. We are in full swing. We are serving more than 300 participants per week. And as I said, we're working with about 20 partner farmers. So the program has grown and is successful in many different formats. We are hoping to launch some programming next year in conjunction with WIC clinics, focusing on young families. So there's a ton going on, most of which I can't share right now. I'm happy to share more information about this programming and to help people, whether you'd like to work with us on it or whether you are building a program like this within your own community and just want some pointers. In 2017, we did sort of a rebranding, and we created some really amazing support materials, which I'll show you in a moment. So the program comes with a bag insert every share, which identifies what's in the share, and it uses these food family icons that you'll see in a moment. We also provide storage and safe handling resource at the beginning of the season, and a collection of produce-centric recipes, focusing on those lesser known items like salad turnips or collard greens or kohlrabi. So we're trying to do everything we can to give the participants the feeling, yes, you can do this. Do not be intimidated. Take it one step at a time, and we are here with you. You can make changes to your health, and you can start with making changes to your eating habits. So this is really small. I know you won't be able to see the content of it, but this is that resource that we share at the beginning of the season. It's called Keep Your Food Fresh. And down the left-hand side of it are the food family icons that I was speaking of. Basically for people who have not worked with broccoli before, who have not cooked with green onions, who aren't familiar with using raw garlic, we tell them what part of the plant it is, and then we give them some storage tips based on generalizations about how to store that part of the plant. So our bag insert and our recipes also have these food family icons. They're colorful. We're hoping that kids in the family might see them and might want to get involved. Maybe the adults are not native English speakers, so maybe their kids are also helping them make their way through these resources. We are translating these resources into Spanish for the 2019 season, so we received some funding to do that. In particular, one partnership that I'd like to highlight for this group today is our partnership with UVA Health System. On this slide, you can see our new logo for our Fresh Pharmacy program. Fruit and Veggie Prescription Program is happening in clinics, and Workplace Wellness Program is happening in workplaces that are partners of ours. So 2 different venues, same program, slight differences in how we deliver the program, but really it's essentially the same. So in 2009, when Local Food Hub started, UVA Health System, UVA Hospital, Morrison Healthcare were our partners from the very beginning. They were an early adopter. They started buying from us right away, and they continue to buy from us for their cafeteria food. Not really much of it is going on to patient trays that I'm aware of. There are probably exceptions to that, but really they use local product in their cafeteria on a daily basis and try to encourage employees and people visiting loved ones in the hospital to partake of that local bounty when they're in there. So starting in 2009, we've had a wholesale relationship with them. In 2017, UVA Health System Employee Wellness Program, which is called Be Well, reached out to us because they wanted to run a fresh pharmacy program for some of their employees. So this is a very small subset of their employees, but basically what they did is they did some wellness surveys of their employees, and they realized that many of their employees were having a very difficult time meeting their basic needs. So food, clothing, and shelter. And that was causing a lot of stress to their employees. And so they were really surprised by these responses, and they said, we just have to do something. So basically they invited a subset of their Be Well participants to participate in Fresh Pharmacy, 90 participants in 2017. And they put together sort of their own level of supporting services, including cooking classes run by Morrison Healthcare. So you can see they have their contract management company involved. They have their wellness programming involved. And they also were kind enough to grant us, through a separate program, they granted us funds last year to buy a third dedicated food access delivery vehicle. So you can see the partnership is working on a lot of fronts. It's been very beneficial to us. I think there's a tremendous amount of room to continue growing that partnership. And I think we could use it as a template for other hospitals and healthcare providers who may want to bring in an element of fresh pharmacy into their existing wellness programming. So I'd be overjoyed to speak with any of you about that privately, or we can also talk about it a little bit later in the call. And then this program continues this year. They also have 90 participants.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm noticing the time, and we're really getting tight on time.
Okay, great. Thank you. So this is just my last slide is my contact information.
Okay.
And I think that this will be made available to everyone also, so that we can continue this discussion privately, or whatever we can't touch on today in this call. I'm happy to field your questions. Thank you so much for your time. I'm sorry I went over. I will be quiet now, and I will pass the torch to Abby.
Thank you so much, Lisa. That was fantastic and very inspiring. And I also want to encourage folks to click on your chat box. It has a lot of resources that Sonia's been putting in there. I've also sent a few questions to a few people. So check out the chat box. And Abby, if you can keep it to 3 to 5 minutes, that would be great, because otherwise we're not going to have much time for for questions and discussion.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. So I'll just move quickly. Please let me know if the slide does not advance as soon as you can. I have not advanced it yet. So again, my name is Abby Massey. I work for the Common Market, and I am the regional manager based in Washington, D.C., and I manage the D.C., Maryland, and Virginia region. The Common Market, so it's not advancing. All right. Sorry, guys. The Common Market, you see it now? Okay.
Yep.
The Common Market is a mission-driven distributor of locally farmed food. We're actually a nonprofit. And like I said, the Food Hub is based in Philadelphia. It was started in 2008. And the mission really is to connect communities with good food from sustainable family farms. And we strive to improve food security, farm viability, and community and ecological health. And so we do this in two veins. One is supporting small and mid-sized family farmers in the Mid-Atlantic and giving them access to markets. And we also partner with community organizations and especially institutions to make sure that everyone has access to good food. As you all know, institutions are serving a wide diversity of people and often vulnerable populations. And so working with institutions really fulfills this food access mission one. And also institutions are a really great market for farmers. They're consistent and they purchase a lot of product. So we work with 76 producers, processors, co-ops in the Mid-Atlantic region. They all have to be from within 250 miles of our Philadelphia warehouse. All of our produce must be GAP certified. That's kind of become a standard for a lot of larger distributors, so we're following suit with that. Produce is picked up from the farm or delivered from the farm to our warehouse. This is a picture of our cooler. So it's repacked and then it's delivered back out to our customers. And here's a picture of one of our drivers, Bryant, in Philadelphia, I believe. So we have 9 trucks at the Common Market. As Kristen mentioned in my bio, we did also recently open a small warehouse in Jessup, Maryland, and that's really to help support purchasing more food from Maryland and Virginia farmers, and also to help support the customers and institutions and community orgs that are out in Maryland and Virginia who need this food. And it was just becoming very difficult to do everything from our Philadelphia warehouse. So we make deliveries 6 days a week. And I didn't mention this, but we have produce, meat, cheese, dairy, and other value-added items. Just a little review of our customers. Like I said, we do focus on institutions. We work with public and private schools, early child care centers, universities, hospitals, senior living centers, and then nonprofit organizations, restaurants, and retailers. A lot of you guys have worked with or are working in institutions. It takes a lot of time to develop relationships with institutions and actually make movement happen. So we have a lot of very long-standing relationships with institutions and are continually working to talk to food service, talk to nutritionists and other stakeholders at each institution to create buy-in and make sure that everyone knows that local food is accessible for them and the populations that they're serving. We also, through those relationships, we've also been able to work with food service management companies. That is a conversation for a whole nother webinar, but happy to chat about that. We are able to work with some food service management companies. And so just one more thing, not only do we do wholesale deliveries of products to cafeterias, We also have a farm share program, which is how we work with workplaces. It's really a workplace wellness program. Every other week we'll deliver a box of fruits and vegetables that customers have signed up for at the beginning of the season. And then we also support our customers in creating farm stands at their location. So you can buy product from over 70 farmers and just have one farm stand. And it's a really nice way to create community at your organization. And also just to kind of tie in the food access piece beyond institutions, we, as a nonprofit, were able to apply for grant funding for what we call our Food Access Fund. And this is a program that helps us reduce the cost of our food so that community organizations that are doing really fantastic work in their communities and to increase access to good food, it's so that they can afford it a little bit easier. So the cost of the food is reduced by 25%. And that's really for community grassroots organizations that are already doing really great food access work. I'm going to skip this. You guys can look at it when you receive the PowerPoint in your email. And then this is a slide. This is our current delivery area. It's Lisa, you have a beautiful map. I loved it. This one is jaggedy. But we're delivering as far north as New York City and as far south as Northern Virginia. And this will continue to expand as we do. But right now, this is our current delivery area. Just quick to mention, we have a food hub with a similar model in Atlanta, Georgia, and another one in Houston, Texas. The one in Atlanta started 2 years ago, and the one in Houston started this year. So thank you. Hopefully I didn't go too over my time.
That was great, Abby. Thank you so much. It was concise, thorough, well organized. We're so excited to have you and Lisa and Diane here today. Thank you all so much. That was great. I think there's only one question that in the chat box we haven't gotten to, so I'll ask that one and then open it up for any other questions or comments. There was a question for Diane asking whether or not you and your farmers have the capacity to take on new clients.
The answer to that is a solid yes. I'm certainly not selling all that my farmers have to offer. Logistically, there will be issues to work out. It's just me really right now with the van and one delivery day, but I do have the capacity to add a delivery day. And especially over the summer, we have room for clients. Of course, the hospitals will be year round and the schools will start up in September. There is room for more, and those logistical hurdles are nice problems to have and can be solved. I do have, especially our orchard, McLeaf's, the first year we were running when my predecessor was the food hub coordinator, they delivered all the apples to all the school districts. They are strong participants, understand that this often takes time to build up, and so they're always willing to help me. So I have that, and I know some of my other local farmer partners could help as well if needed.
Great, thank you. Any other questions for the presenters or comments that you wanted to share?
I have written down that Steve Ferguson had a question about the fresh pharmacy program for the local food hub.
Yeah, that was answered during the presentation. Thank you, Erin.
Yeah, of course.
There's a few other food hubs on the call. So if there aren't questions for the presenters, if folks feel comfortable sharing, we have Ron Williams has a food hub that is a really, really unique model in terms of the product. And then Cheryl DeBerry is working with Garrett Growers Cooperative in Western Maryland. And then Maureen Best with Local Environmental Agriculture Project, also called LEAP, is working on expanding a pilot food hub in Roanoke. Starting with Ron, would you be okay with sharing some details about your food hub? And make sure you unmute yourself.
I unmuted you, Ron, if you want to share anything.
I wonder, Ron, can you hear us?
Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me now? Sorry.
That's okay.
I had to move, so don't kick me out of the conference room.
Did you hear the question?
I'm sorry.
I just wondered if you would be okay with sharing a little bit of detail about the food hub that you've been running.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So my name is Ron Williams. I'm a steering committee member of the CFN network, and about 2014, I started a company just harvesting blue crabs out of the Chesapeake Bay. Long story short, a lot of the other watermen on the bay were like, we need to get into the same markets that you were getting into, and so I started delivering into urban areas, so like Anacostia Southeast, which is a high in crime and poverty, and so numbers skyrocketed when I started, selling crabs over there. It went from like 5 people to about 80 in a month, and then like in 2 months it went to like 200 folks. So I kind of did a small measurement of like, okay, this particular group, they love blue crabs, and so they didn't, these folks didn't necessarily have to travel a long way to get their product. So we expanded, and then we opened more memberships up for folks to buy crabs, and then we said, all right, so how can we take this bigger? We started aggregating other farmers' produce who were actually watermen and farmers, so they had land adjacent to the water where they were able to harvest just like collard greens. They were harvesting different produce crops. And so when we started the actual produce operation in the second year, we didn't know that Caroline County produced a lot of peaches. And so we started selling peaches, Maryland peaches, within our little community supported fishery. And so this year we have not been selling because we are internally reorging because of just information, times, patterns, where our demographic is going, and our demographic is 18 to 45 folks that are living in 20743 to 20036 area code. Small amount of folks that love blue crabs, collard greens, strawberries, and things similar to that. We plan on launching a new product line via our website. So, and that won't be until October, but our reorganization just includes just rebranding and rolling out a new product line and website for folks that could be, that not could be, but they could access our product more accessible within our region. And we just solidified a partnership with Uber Eats to deliver the product on their platform. So we'll be able to expand in other areas that we weren't traditionally able to get into. So that's a huge get for us. And that's sort of like what we've been doing, and what we are focusing on, just the products that folks in those communities that we are in, what they want, and not putting on our product floor a bunch of products that's not selling. So
Gotcha. That's excellent. Thank you so much. Would either you or Sonia be able to share the link to your website in the chat box?
Sonia's our communications director, so she has all that.
Oh, great. Wonderful. All right. Thank you so much, Ron. We have 3 minutes left. Cheryl, could you just tell us about Garrett Growers Cooperative in about 1 minute? We can't hear you. Sonia, are you able to unmute her? Okay, Cheryl, we couldn't hear you. There seems to be something going on with your microphone. It's very staticky. Yeah, it's your microphone. Okay, so we have her website there to go to. Maureen, would you be able to talk in like 30 seconds about LEAP and the work you're doing?
Sure. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
So LEAP, we started with farmers markets and then and food access work. And so we have a mobile farmers market that we've been running since 2015 and have piloted a food hub in order to serve that. And then in 2017, we started a farm share program working with another aggregator in the area and taking that over. And so this past year, it was about 100,000 in sales between the two, and so we're now in the planning stage to take the small hub to the next level, to be able to serve more institutional markets. There isn't currently a hub in this area. Local food hub works with some farmers in this area, but not very many buyers in this area, and then in Abingdon, far southwest Virginia. And so in working with the community, this is something that the farmers identified as a big need, and then also working with the federal purchasers, it's a big need. So I really appreciate learning from other people and adapting any best practices. And so we started on the access side and then are moving to the wholesale side, which seems a little bit reverse of what a lot of people do. But it's worked so far for us, and hopefully we'll be able to scale it up sustainably.
Great, thank you so much. So we are out of time. Sonia, if you're able to share the final slide, you can try that, but if not, I just want to let people know about the Chesapeake Farm to Institution Work Group. Just like Ron, I'm on the Chesapeake Food Shed Network steering team, and I co-chair the Chesapeake Farm to Institution Work Group, which is a collaboration between Healthcare Without Harm and the Chesapeake Food Shed Network. And we have, and we'll include this in what we follow up with, but if you're interested in learning about future opportunities like this, we are all about, encouraging and supporting farm to institution efforts in the Mid-Atlantic region. So, any ideas that you have, any questions that you have, let us know about. But also I recommend signing up for the Google group so that you're sure to find out about future learning opportunities. This year we held, maybe everybody could mute their mic, so there's a little bit of static. This year we've so far we've held webinars on food safety issues, producers selling to institutions and what is required, and both in terms of what companies are requiring and in terms of what the federal government is going to eventually require. We are holding this call today. We're holding a call in the fall on sustainable procurement language for both policies, food policies, and contracts within institutions. So if you join the Google group, you'll learn about that. We're going to meet at the NESOG conference in Philadelphia in October. So it'll be an opportunity to, be in person and network with each other. So, so we encourage you to, to connect with this group and continue to participate in these opportunities so that we can all learn from each other and benefit the food and agriculture system in the Mid-Atlantic. So again, I thank you so much to the speakers and thank you to the participants. Many thanks to Sonia and CFN. And I hope everybody has a great rest of the day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.